Hi, and welcome. I'm Polly, and today we're going to take a look at how to keep your wrists happy. So, we're a little over a week into our 500 Sun Salutations in September challenge. And I don't know about you, but I can feel it in my wrists from the repeated down dogs and high planks. These are poses that are weight bearing in the hands and wrists and have a pretty intense 90-degree angle of wrist extension. Anyone else feeling some discomfort or pain? Okay, today we're going to take a look at some alignment, foundation, and stretches to help alleviate some discomfort and hopefully also prevent wrist issues from occurring in the future. So let's first take a look at hand placement or foundation. Come onto all fours and take the wrists below the shoulders. Or if this is already tricky, this angle, you can take your hands out past the shoulders. Fingers are spread wide and even like starfish. That's key. And wrist creases are more or less parallel to the front of your mat. So press evenly down between the palms. And make sure you're also gripping the mat with your finger pads. So it's like a little gecko on a window. Fingers are active. And you're also pressing a lot down through the index finger and thumb, so the inside of the hands. A common misalignment in hand foundation is to either cup the hands like you're holding a cupcake, or lift the fingertips, and that puts a lot of pressure on the wrists. So go back to pressing evenly down through the perimeter of the palm and gripping the mat with your fingers. And then try this. Lift just the heel of the hand off the mat and feel the action in the forearm muscles. Keep that and then lower the the hand back to the mat. Do that one or two or three more times. Keeping the action in the forearms. And notice this may already be helping. All right, now let's take a look at alignment in the shoulders. And we look at that because we want our shoulders to have healthy integration. And that will also transfer down to the elbow and the wrist. So let the bigger joint take care of the little smaller, more spindly joints. So come back to all fours. And first we need to create space. And we can do that by lengthening the side bodies. So you draw the shoulders up towards the ears. And it's not a super harsh shrug. Rather, you're floating your armpits. And this creates space in the side body from the hips to the armpits and allows you to lower or melt the chest towards the mat. This plugs the head of the arm bones into the shoulder sockets. So shoulders are happy, wrists are happy. Let's do that one more time. So kind of come back to a neutral tabletop. Check out your foundation of the hands. Lengthen the side bodies. Melt the chest. Look down at your hands. Take the throat back slightly. Keep the shoulders plugged in. Now, keeping all that, tuck the toes under, lift the hips, and glide back to downward facing dog. Shoulders are still plugged in. And you'll want to avoid dropping the shoulders in down dog. This is something typical I see, people trying to get a deeper stretch, but it's really putting a pretty harsh angle on the wrists. So we'll move through the same alignment principles. Lift the armpits. It's almost like you're coming forward into a high plank. Melt the chest. Look forward to the hands. At this point, you can also make sure you're still doing the little gecko gripping action. Good, healthy hand foundation. Nice. Keep the shoulders plugged in. Stretch the hips up and then lower the heels towards the mat. So healthy shoulder integration is help alleviating some of the pressure on the wrists. Okay, so now that we've looked at some proper alignment with hands and shoulders, let's do some kind of nice stretches. These are some exercises that I do. Maybe I'll do one or two before each round of sun salutations and after. And they're also kind of nice to do throughout the day as well. If you're like sitting in traffic or have a minute to yourself at your desk. So the first one is to take one hand and wrap it around the opposite wrist, and you'll pull down on the flesh. So there's a little bit of traction. And then simply kind of wave that top hand around. It can be in circles or random movements. Keep the traction with the gripping hand, and then switch it out. Nice, and then shake it out. Come back to all fours. Notice if, I know my wrists already feel a little bit clearer, a little stronger. Here's a second stretch. You'll take your fingers towards your torso, soften the elbows, and stretch the hips back. Now, this might be intense. The closer your hands are to your knees, the more intense. You can walk your knees back. You're getting a stretch through the forearm muscles. Nice. And then, same thing, fingers face the knees, but flip the palms face up. Soften the elbows and stretch back. That feels good. Great. Last one. Make a big fist with your hands. Roll them in one direction and then the other. Finally, bring your hands together, palms pressed in front of your heart. Close down your eyes or maintain a soft gaze. Thank yourself for moving through this tutorial. Feel free to watch it again or ask me questions. Knowing that sustaining healthy rests and keeping them happy is a way to sustain yourself through the sun salutations and also sustain all the good that you're doing to support the work of Peace Direct. Thanks all so much for being here in community. Namaste.